We get asked all the time, how do I buy a house and sell a house at the same time? We're having this conversation on an almost daily basis. So if this pertains to you, you're going to want to watch this video as we give you our top tips on how to make that process easier.
Hey, it's Jeremy here with the Guillette Group.
And Angie.
And we're going to walk you through exactly what you need to do to de-stress the process of buying and selling at the same time. We're here in Estero, Florida, and the one recommendation we have before we get into the video is to work with someone local. Real estate is hyper-local, and I know our market, Angie knows our market, but I don't know your market if you're from out of town. So make sure on the sell side, you have someone in your corner that really understands your specific market.
All right, so where do you start? You've decided that you want to move and you're going to sell your home. And we've talked about this before. So the first step is really your mindset. You've got to make up your mind that this is what's going to happen. And then where do you go from there? You have to talk to a lender and you have to start working on a pre-approval, because that information is critical. And that is what's going to help understand your picture, and if you need to sell before you can buy, or if you buy before you can sell. And that makes all the difference in the world on how this process is going to unfold.
And if you're like most of us, you have to sell before you can buy. And that's overwhelming. You got to figure out all the logistics of how you do that. Will someone take a contingent offer? We're going to walk through all those steps one by one to make sure that you are prepared and understanding of how this is going to work. Okay, and I said this at the start of the video, but you've got to talk to someone that knows your market. So you can go online and you can look at Zillow, but guess what, guys? Zillow's wrong. Yeah, I said it. If you go on Zillow, guess what they are? They're a marketing company. They sell ads. They're trying to drive traffic to their website. If you go to the website and see a number that you love, well, guess what? You're going to come back to it. And then you're going to go to an agent, and that house might say on Zillow, or the Zestimate is $350,000. Your agent may say it's worth $330,000. Trust your agent. They're pulling comps. They understand all the if something was furnished, the condition of the properties that are in your comparable sales. They're going to have the knowledge that's really going to help differentiate what your house is going to sell for versus any of these online tools that are going to show you a number that most likely you're going to love.
And it's important to remember that the computer can only look at data. They can't look at what is the quality and the condition of the upgrades in the home. They can't look at what the house next door had inside of it. So it's really important that you trust your local realtor, because they have the local knowledge to give you accurate information.
So we're moving into the next tip, and really, this is probably the one that's most important and the hardest to handle. You got to just trust the process. And when I say that, I mean if you have to sell before you buy. We are in a historic seller's market, and one of the things that people tell us every day, there's no inventory. When I go online, I don't see what I want to buy, so why would I sell? Where am I going to go? You can't think that way. You got to take it one step at a time. If you know you don't want to be where you're at, the first step, if you have to sell before you buy, is selling. So take advantage of this seller's market. Get the one good thing that comes out of a seller's market, that's your sales price. Once you do that, you can then move into the next phase where you can make a contingent offer if you're under contract. We wouldn't advise making a contingent offer or potentially even removing the contingency, but you've got to be further down in that process. Once you have the contingency cleared on your home, you're under contract, other sellers will be willing to entertain your offer. But the other thing this does is it puts you in a position, let's say you close and you haven't found your dream home. You might have to rent. But listen, it's temporary, and if you know that you're going somewhere and this isn't where you want to be long term, you sell and you figure it out. You get a rental. It might be temporary. It could be 6 months, could be 3 months. It might be a year. Your money's in the bank and you're positioned to move to the next step with being able to write the right offer to the next seller. And hey, bonus tip, when you're getting an offer or multiple offers in this market on your existing home, make sure you get 45 days, 60 days, maybe even consider a rent back. That's going to give you more time, and especially in the case of the rent back, you're going to have your equity out. So if you close and get another 30 to 60 days as a rent back, you now have your equity, you don't have to move, you can then execute the contract on the next home without moving twice.
And I just want to jump in here real quick for a minute because Jeremy was talking of contingencies in the offer. And I just want to take a quick step back. In the market that we're in right now, most offers that are being accepted do not have any contingencies on there. So it's just something to prepare yourself for. And that's why it's so important to be clearly down the path on your home sell if you have to sell before you buy. You want to be far enough along in that process that you are comfortable to move forward on offers on the new end without those contingencies. And here's the thing you have to remember. You're in total control of this situation. So if that makes you really uncomfortable and you just are not willing to do that, that's okay. That's when we put into place the renting, doing something short term, and just remembering anything short term you can do. I promise you, we've done it many times.
Yes, we have.
The next piece you need to consider is closing, and how is closing going to work? A lot of people think, of course, I'm going to buy a house, I'm going to sell my house, then I'm going to buy my house in the same day. But let me just caution you against that. There are so many variables that go into closing a home loan. For example, the home that you're selling. What if those people have to close on their home that they're selling before they can purchase your home? Then ultimately, they can't buy your home until that deal closes and funds. So we have all kinds of factors coming into play here. We have wires that have to get in and out. We have lender wires that have to get in and out. We have title companies that are completely overwhelmed with the amount of business that is happening right now in the seller's market. We have lenders that are just hustling to keep up and get all the packages out. I promise you, you are much better off and you will relieve yourself of a significant amount of stress if you do not set your closings for the same day. It is 100% worth staying in a hotel for at least one night to give yourself a little buffer. Because the reality is sometimes things happen that you have zero control over, and that might get extended anyway. Sometimes the closing it just can't happen because there's just too many pieces that have to fall into place.
And look at it this way, guys. You've done all this hard work. You've now sold your home. Take some time to celebrate. Spend the night in the hotel. Look at it as a win. Go enjoy yourself in your new community, wherever it might be. Get a hotel, spend the night. Maybe you close on a Friday, you spend the weekend, you close the next Monday on the home that you're going to purchase. We've learned the hard way, and some of our customers have as well. The stress isn't worth it. They talk about the juice being worth the squeeze. In this situation, it's too much pressure and too much can go wrong. Do yourself a favor, close on your existing home, buy yourself a day or two, and then close on the next home.
And if this is where you're at, or if this is what you're thinking about doing, you can use the link below to schedule time with us, and we can walk through your specific situation step by step. We are here to be a resource for you and make it as smooth as possible because we know this is hard. We have done it so many times ourselves, and we've talked to people who have told us that they're sure that they've lost at least 1 year off of their life because of the stress of going through this process. And we don't want that for you.
No, we don't.
So check out this video here to learn how to sell your house quickly and for top dollar.
Ooh.